Alright, this is Weapon X Reacts and we're back with another video, and this is gonna be a review of American History X, which is one of the most powerful movies I have ever seen in my life, and it does a great job in showing you the consequences of racism and the rise of the neo-Nazi movement in America. And I totally recommend you check it out, but I will warn you that this is a movie that will stick with you long after it's over. And it was directed by Tony Kaye, and one thing I like about him is how he focuses on the themes of his movies. And I really think that this movie right here is actually the best film I have ever seen from him as a director. And he even directed films like Detachment, which stars Adrien Brody, and that is another film from him that is most definitely worth your time. And even if this film tackles very controversial topics, it does it in a way that is compelling. And if this film came out today, it would have not become the masterpiece it already is. And I'm just gonna let you know that there will be spoilers in this review. I'm gonna break down the plot of this film. So, Danny Vineyard is a high school student and a neo-Nazi in the making. And his brother is released after a 3-year stint in prison, and he tries to talk Danny out of his wrong ways. And Edward Norton's performance as Derek Vineyard is absolutely amazing. And to me, this has to be the best performance I have ever seen from him. And his character development from a neo-Nazi into someone that tries to fix his life up and make sure that his brother doesn't become what he used to be, which I thought was really well done. And the scenes of where he was in prison is just another example of what makes this film so good. Like how he becomes friends with a prisoner named Lamont, and then he stops hanging out with the neo-Nazi gang, which to them it was a sign of disrespect. And while in the bathrooms, they decide to pin him to a wall and sexually assault him. And this scene right here is absolutely intense and emotional. And the part of where Sweeney meets him and talks about his own experience, and he then says these words: "Has anything you've done made your life better?" And this perfectly sums up Derek's character, as he was so consumed by his own anger that it ruined his life. And later on in the film, we learn that it wasn't his dad's death that got him into racism. It was much earlier than that, when he had a conversation with him at the dinner table. Overall, this was a compelling character, and he is someone that has done a lot of bad things in his life, but he tries to redeem himself from all of it. And I even heard that Edward Norton was even nominated for Best Actor at the Oscars, and from what I saw in this film, it was well deserved. Also, Edward Furlong was really good as Danny Vineyard, and to me, I think he is a massively underrated actor, and this film really shows what he is capable of. And it made me see him as more than just the guy that played John Connor in Terminator 2. And I just want to say that Terminator 2 is a film that is one of the greatest films of all time, and it totally deserves that. The cinematography is absolutely fantastic, and one thing I like about it is how the film uses color. Like how the scenes that are shot in black and white represents Derek's past life and how he saw the world when he was a neo-Nazi. And when we get to the present day, the film is shot in color, showing how he has changed as a person. And I thought it was so well used. And not only that, it enhances this film's story and its themes. And you gotta give a lot of respect to Tony Kaye for that, as he was the one that didn't just direct the film, but he was also the film's director of photography. I'm going to explain the ending of this film. So when Danny goes to school to bring his paper to Sweeney, he decides to go to the bathroom and then gets shot by a black teenager. And we know that he was the same one who Danny confronted at the start of the film. And then Derek runs into the school and starts crying while holding Derek's dead body. And then we hear Danny's final words saying, "My conclusion is hate is baggage," which perfectly sums up this entire movie, as it shows how hate can be passed on. Like, if we look at the conversation Derek had with his father, for example, it was like a seed that grew inside Derek, causing him to fuck his life up and everyone else around him. And then it ends with a quote from Abraham Lincoln: "We are not enemies but friends. We must not be enemies. For passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection. The mystic chords of memory will swell when again touched, as surely they will be, by the better angels of our nature." And to me, it could mean that Derek could continue to move on with his life and not let his past catch up with him again, or go back to being a neo-Nazi. But overall, this scene is a powerful reminder for all of us, and it truly makes this film what it is: a masterpiece. The production into getting this film made was absolutely insane. And I even heard that Dennis Hopper was originally approached to direct this film, but he declined the offer. And when getting an actor to play Derek Vinyard, Joaquin Phoenix was the first choice for the character, but he declined the role because he felt like it would destroy his acting career, which is what you expect from a character like this. So they went with Edward Norton instead, and to prepare for the role, he would work hours in the gym and increase his calorie intake. And after post-production, the original runtime of this film was 1 hour and 35 minutes. And it had really positive test screenings. But the studio told Tony Kaye to edit the film even more, which he hated. And after that, Edward Norton was involved in the editing of the movie with him. And he was so pissed off. And I even heard that he got stitches from punching a wall at one point. So their relationship working together was really hard. And in June 1998, the studio test screened a second cut, which included changes by Edward Norton, and they tried to get Tony Kaye to release his version of the film, but he decided not to. And later on, he wanted the studio to remove his name from the film. But the Directors Guild of America refused his offer. And then the film came out and it was praised by everyone. And Tony Kaye even said in a 2007 interview that his ego got in the way. And you know what? Even though this film had a difficult production, it was a great film. Which is something that we just don't get anymore. And if we got Tony Kaye's original vision of the film, I think it would have hit in a completely different way and it would have ruined the film. That's just what I think, personally. The curb stomp scene is probably the most intense and disturbing scene in this film. So it starts off with Derek seeing two men try to break in at his house. And then he shoots one of them and then he puts the other guy on the ground, who we know is the one from the basketball team. And then he kills him by stomping on his head. And it is just brutal and hard to watch, as it shows just how far Derek has gone. And then he gets arrested, and the part of where he stares at his brother is some of the best acting I have ever seen in my life. And it is one moment that makes this film so iconic, but so dark. Cameron Alexander is an interesting character, and Stacy Keach gave a great performance as him. And he is a neo-Nazi, but unlike Derek, he is completely unredeemable. Like when in a deleted scene, he is shown harassing an interracial couple at a diner. And when he tried to manipulate Danny into joining him. But he also has a good side to him. Like when he gives money to a homeless Vietnam War veteran in a deleted scene. And overall, this character is a complete asshole. And a psychopath. And the scene of where he gets punched by Derek was satisfying, as it shows how Derek was able to escape his manipulation, and to me, he was a good villain. And there was one deleted scene of where a homeless black woman gets assaulted by neo-Nazis, and it is just hard to watch, and I can understand why it was cut. And the soundtrack of this film was just haunting, and it really fits the tone of the film. And I'm going to show you an example of it right now. And I just want to say that this film deserves all the praise it's getting, because it's well acted, well shot, and all that. And well directed. We just do not get movies like this anymore, man. And this is not just a powerful film, it's an important one. And it's more relevant than ever, really. And this film is so much better than the shit we get today, man. That's not a joke. And I have heard that the Thunderbolts movie is already out, and I'm gonna be doing a review after this one. So now I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna show you the soundtrack. And one thing I also liked about the cinematography is the close-up shots. And the opening scene is a great introduction to a film like this. And the shots on the beach symbolize peace. And it shows how this film is gonna go. It starts off peaceful, then it goes straight up shocking. So let's go.
It's 6:30.
Calm before the storm is all I can say. This movie really shows you what racism was like in that time. But nowadays, it's just a sign of playing the victim nowadays. We live in a woke society, man.
Okay, time to finally finish the new product descriptions on the web.
This movie was emotionally devastating. And this film felt like something that was made by people that cared about the story they wanted to tell instead of pushing their own woke agendas. You know, like most modern writers today. They don't make movies to tell a story. They write movies to talk about their problems. And they want to preach it on the audience. We do not give a shit about your problems, bro. No wonder why Hollywood is failing. You know who should have got Best Supporting Actor for this movie? Edward Furlong. Cause dude, this has to be one of his best performances, man. Hollywood has rejected the audience. And guess what? No one cares about your fucking movies anymore. Who cares? People are rejecting your crap fast. Just like how they're rejecting your Academy Awards and bullshit. Because it's not about talent anymore. It's about agendas. The best thing about this movie is its writing. this is the rating that this film got on Rotten Tomatoes. So it has 84% from the critics and 96% from the audience. And I'm gonna be reading out the reviews right now. So, American History X advocates that those who ignore history are doomed to repeat it. It's a powerful social document and should be part of your film watching curriculum, which I 100% agree with. And it's nice seeing the fact that this film is getting the praise it deserves. In conclusion, this was an amazing film, and the message was compelling and well done. And if you compare this to the movies that comes out of modern Hollywood today, it is the complete opposite of that. As the people who write these films have messages that are just bullshit pandering, and it feels forced. And I just want to say that this is a well-written film that doesn't come out that much anymore. And I even heard that Thunderbolts is coming out, and you know what? I am not gonna waste my time because I just don't care anymore. Because everything that came out of the MCU has just been forgettable. And Disney will continue to destroy this franchise no matter what. And it already looks like it's going to be a massive failure for them. And that is a good thing. Also, please let me know what you thought about this film. Because this film was just an experience, man. Tony Kaye, he knew what he was doing when he made this. Edward Norton, he gave a performance that will remain as one of the greatest performances in cinema history. And it's even up there with his role in Fight Club 2 by David Fincher and starring Brad Pitt. And everything from the cinematography to the acting, the directing, the writing, it's just a masterclass in all of it. Also, anyway, that's all I got for today. Go away now, and always remember, strike back like a weapon against wokeness. Also, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.